So we are ready to take notes for today. So you guys will be downloading this PDF. So then you can simply click on the link and then it should download and it'll tell you that your download is complete. Then in order to open this to where you can write with us, you can simply click, if you have the blue K in this upper right hand corner. If not, click the puzzle piece and go down and find your Kami extension. And then we are going to open up from our computer because you just downloaded your PDF. It's called Algebra 1 November 2nd. I assume it will be in your downloads, and then you can hit open and you are ready to write. Now this is something we're not turning in. It's something that you're saving to your Google Drive. We will be doing an assignment for a grade on Wednesday. So we are ready to get started. All right, so we are going through, we're going to be solving. So which side do we like to have variables on? All right, we like variables on the left, constants on the right. So I'm actually going to rewrite the problem down here because I don't like to mess up my graph. We're going to graph that in just a second. All right, if we have parentheses, what do we have to do? We have to distribute. So what is negative 5 times 6?
30.
Negative 30. Negative 5 times k. And then that's greater than 70. So we are ready to rearrange. All right, the negative 5k is on the left. We are good to go there. Now guys, how do I move a negative 30 over to the other side? Plus 30. So then I combine negative 70 plus 30 is negative 40. Brian, do you say you're having tech issues? And then you hit open from computer. And then in your downloads, you should find the assignment. Algebra 1 November 2nd. Organizing by the date you downloaded them. Now hit next. Right now you should be able to write. Alright, now if we look at this, we're dividing by what to get k by itself? Alright, now do you guys remember when you are solving, if you divide by a negative, what do we have to do to this? It becomes k is greater than, two negatives turn in to a positive 8. Now do we see positive 8 on our number line? Okay. Should you always see your solution on your number line? Always. If you didn't, go back and double check your work. So now we have to ask ourselves with graphing, is this an open circle or a closed circle at 8? It is open. We only fill it in if it's or equal to. This one is just greater than, so it's an open circle. And we are talking about numbers that are greater than 8. So what numbers are, is it 6 and 7 or is it 9 through 16? Which ones are greater than 8? Look at the number line. Which ones are bigger? 9 through 16. We're shading to the right. All right. Really quick, if you guys need a calculator, this is the time to go get one. Do I need to clean some? Hey guys, I have about 5 calculators over here. If you need a calculator, this is the time to come and get one. You're not allowed to use your phones. I am going to have you try some by yourself, so make sure that you have your calculator with you. Or have a calculator on you. Here. All right, and I can't imagine anybody wanting these old, nasty calculators, but I'm missing about 6 of them. So if you've accidentally walked off with some, it's honestly like, I get it. Sometimes you're just in a hurry at the end of class and you walk off with one. If you happen to have some, like, in your bag or at home, like you just like, bring them back. All right, so guys, I'm ready to move on to the second one. All right, I am rewriting just because I don't like to mess with my original inequalities and I don't like to write in my number line. All right, we have got to distribute. What is negative 10 times b? Negative 10b. Now, guys, what's negative 10? It's a negative 10 and a negative 3. Positive 30. All right, so the only thing we need to move is this negative, or positive 30 needs to move over and become what? Negative 30. So we get negative 10b. What is 110 minus 30? 80. All right, so on this last one, what are we going to divide by? All right, negative 10. Okay, do we need to flip our sign or keep our sign? All right, the coefficient was negative. We flip it. Positive 80 divided by 10 is negative 8. Do we see negative 8 on our number line? Yes. Yes. All right, now you guys tell me, how should I graph this solution? Open or closed at negative 8? All right, and we're talking about greater than. So which way are we going, left or right? To the right. And remember, you can only, so if it points to the right, it shades to the right. We only can do that if the variables are on the left. That's why I've stressed from the very first day we started solving equations, put the variables on the left because it helps so much with which direction you can shade on your number line. What do you guys think so far? Is it anything new? It's just taking two things we already know and we're putting those together. All right, so I want to see what we have next. I want you guys to go ahead and, oh, hang on. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. All right, we have no parentheses, so we don't need to distribute, but we do need to rearrange because we have variables and numbers on the wrong sides. So what do we want to have on the left? All right, our x's. So I have this x. Now how do I bring this x over? Minus x. All right, how do I bring this positive 7 over? Okay, guys, what happens when you have x minus x? It becomes a 0. All right, what's 13 minus 7? Hey, do you remember? We have to ask ourselves a question here. Is it true or is it false? 0 is less than 6. So these are one of those special cases. This is a true statement. So do you guys remember what we write? All real numbers. So if this is all real numbers, we're talking about all the numbers. So do you guys think that I should shade my number line? If it says shade all real numbers, what do I shade on my number line? All of it. So we simply just go like this. We shade it all. Everything gives me a true statement. All right, now, can I have you guys try number 4 by yourself? We'll obviously go over it. I just want to give you guys a chance to attempt it on your own. And if you see, you should get something in your solution between negative 4 and positive 6. Gives you an idea. We've been doing this for, not joking, 2 months. You're not even writing down what I'm writing down. You don't have a calculator out. You have your phone out. You have music going. You have decisions that you need to make before I have decisions I'll make. So, put the phone away, get the AirPods out. So on this one, are we all okay with this? If you move a positive 4 over to the other side, it becomes a negative 4. If you move a positive 7 and a positive 8 over, they both switch signs. So guys, what is negative 5 minus 4? This becomes negative 9n is less than, what's 15 minus 7 minus 8? 0. Hey, is this one of those all real number things?
No, it's
That's not a no solution either. Well, look, do we still have a variable? You have a variable. The only time we say all real numbers are no solution is if the variable cancels and becomes 0. We still have an n here to solve for, so you solve for it. All right, if I divide by negative 9, we still have an n. Now, do I need to flip this or keep it since I divided by negative 9? What's 0 divided by anything? 0. This is the correct solution. You are allowed to have a solution involving a 0. So guys, am I open or closed at 0? And which way am I shading? Since I flipped it, it now goes greater than, so which way do I go? To the right.
Oh, shoot, what did I do with that paper? All right, so are we ready for the second page? All right, so we are going to do this one together. All right, we do have some distributing to do, but no distributing on the left. So we are going to bring down that 36 plus 8n. Now, what's 4 times 1? Plus, what's 4 times 3n? 12n. Okay, are there any questions on that distributive property? Which way, are you doing it on paper or are you doing it on? Okay. Greg, what are you doing? Are you writing on paper or are you writing on this? You're gonna say, well, I just saw the paper out, so I didn't know if you were doing that. I would prefer you do it on the Chromebooks. All right, so we are distributing here. So once we have this, we are ready to rearrange. Which 2 terms have variables? All right, the 8n and the 12n. So we have an 8n, which is a positive. Are we switching sides or is it staying on the same side? It's staying, so it stays a positive. Now this 12n is a positive, it's crossing over, so what happens to its sign? And then I'm just bringing down my greater than or equal to symbol. We do not flip it during this rear play. The only time we ever flip it is at the very, very end. Now on this right-hand side, it is a positive 4, and it's just coming straight down. It's not changing sides. But what about this positive 36? How do we move it over? like terms. So we're just following the rules that we see on each side. So what would 8n minus 12n give me? Negative 4n is greater than or equal to 4 minus 36, negative 32. And then our last step is to divide by negative 4. Okay, guys, what happens to this greater than or equal to? Less than or equal to. And then what happens when you have two negatives? Positive 8. Alright, so at positive 8, am I open or closed? Now we always look at the symbol at the very end. So which way am I going to shade, left or right? To the left. Alright, now I do want to say, when you guys are writing on Cami, make sure that there is a big distinction between your open circles and your closed circles. I had a couple people just make like tiny itty bitty dots, and they were really, really hard to see on that last assignment. So make sure that when you're making your circles, it's very obvious when you're looking at them if they're open or closed. Now, I want to take a look at number 6 because it's slightly different. We are distributing, but what are we distributing on that number? How come not the 6? Okay, so if you can see, this 6, is this 6 attached to the parentheses? No, that 6 is going to come down, but that's like having a negative 1 in front of your parentheses. No, that 6 is, it's not attached to the parentheses, so we can't distribute it. That minus sign separates that. So this 6 is going to come right down, but we are going to distribute the negative 1. So we get negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Now what's negative 1 times negative 5? Positive 5 is less than 10 minus, and I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 with that x at the end. You don't have to, but I'm going to. So we want variables on the left. We see 2 x's, right? All right, so this negative 1, I'm going to bring right down. Now, how do I move this one over? Make it a positive. Now, on the other side, I have a 10 already. 10 minus 6 minus 5. Oh, minus 5. Where?
On the right side.
Well, it is a negative when it's on this side, but when I move it over, it becomes a positive. Oh, okay. So what's negative 1 plus 1? 0 is less than negative 1. Now, do we have a variable here? All right, the variable became 0. This is when you can ask yourself those true or false statements. So ask yourself, is 0 less than negative 1? True or false? All right, that is definitely false. So if it is a false statement, what kind of solution are we looking at? All right, so if it's no solution, can we graph anything on the number line? No, you just leave it empty. If there's no solution, there's nothing that works. So you leave your number line empty. So if you want to type yourself a note, if it's no solution, to leave your number line empty, do that.
Now I'm going to try to fix this. So guys, you got to tell me, what are you thinking so far? Number 7, number 8 are way too big. It's nothing that you can't handle though, I promise. We'll be done after these two. All right, so on this one, we are going to distribute twice.
All right, so we're going to get our calculators out first. All right, I'm going to distribute here. What's negative 8 times negative 5n? Positive 40n. What about negative 8 times negative 2? All right, now I'm going to distribute here. What's 5 times 8? Plus 15n. Now this positive n is just not part of the distributive property because it's not in the parentheses. So now I'm ready to rearrange. How many terms are going to be on the left? All right, we have a 40n. Now how do I bring over a positive 15 and a positive 1? And I'm going to put a 1 there. And then this 40 is already here. And then I'm going to minus 16. Very good. So now you guys have calculators at this point. You got a question? Are you sure? You distribute, you rearrange, combine, divide every single time. Okay, so what is 40 minus 15 minus 1? Alright, all of this together becomes 24n. Very good. What's 40 minus 16?
Yeah.
Okay, if I divide by 24, do I flip my sign or keep my sign? You keep it because it's a positive. We divided by a positive 24. Now, this becomes a 1, right? So open or closed at 1, and which way do I shade?
Right.
To the right, very good. Now do you see here, my circle's very visible and my shading's very visible? I'm going to say, make sure that your stuff is as visible as mine. Okay. Hey, it's longer, but you are still distribute, rearrange, combine, divide. That's all you got to do every single time. All right, so that first distributive property, what do I get here? 14m plus 2. All right, now the second part, I'm distributing a 5 or a negative 5. All right, that minus sign goes with it, so let's distribute that. That's negative 5m, and then what? Minus 35. Now the rest of it just comes right down. Greater than or equal to 1 minus 7m plus m minus 4. Now, how many m's do you see here? I see 1, 2 on this side, so I'm going to bring those down. Now, how many am I moving over?
2.
All right, so what happens to the minus 7m when I move it over? Plus 7m, then what happens to this plus 1m? Now, on this side, I have a 1. Now, how do I bring over a plus 2? Minus 2. How do I bring over a minus 35? And then, oh, I forgot my minus 4. But is it okay just to add it to the end? Sorry.
Who asked about that?
Oh,
All right, so sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but I wanted to bring this over a little bit so I could add my -4. Okay, who asked about the 35?
No, I was,
Are you with me?
yeah, I was not.
You sure? All right, so guys, you have calculators. What is 14 minus 5? That's 9. But then we add 7. So that's 16 minus 1. So what do we have on the left? All right, that is a 15M. Now, I got greater than, but I don't know how to do that symbol, so I do or equal to. You see how, if you type, that's okay. You just have to draw those lines in for the or equal tos. Jonathan, are you answering the second part?
No, I'm saying there's just a box at the top that shows what size and all that. And there will be a view with a line underneath it, and when you're in the text box, and you click that, and then add a line underneath. When you're in the text box. Like when you're typing in the text box.
Oh, just to underline it? Okay, that works.
That's what I do.
That's fine. But we do have to say, what is the 1 minus 2 would be -1. Plus 35 is 34. Minus 4 gives me 30. So on this one, I am going to divide by a positive 15. All right, and I'm going to, so we got M. Do I flip or keep it the same since I divided by a positive? All right, greater than, so then Jonathan, you're saying I can just do that and underline it? Okay, that works. But then you got to take off the underliner, otherwise it's going to underline your 2. So we got M is greater than or equal to 2. So which way should I, first of all, open or closed at 2? All right, it is closed. Fill it in. And which way do I go?
Right.
Now that's a really ugly shading, but my mouse doesn't do as good of a job as the stylus does. All right, so I will tell you guys tomorrow we are going to do tons of practice. I'm actually done for today. I knew this was a lot. Now, don't close up. Don't start getting distracted already. You know, say I got a lot to talk about. So I want to clarify. This week, do you have homework tonight? All right, tomorrow we are going to play a game in class. Are we going to have homework tomorrow? All right, when is the next time we're doing something for a grade? No, when's the next time? Look up at the board. I'm actually going over it. When's the next time I'm doing something for a grade? Wednesday. Then Thursday, you have no homework. Friday, we have a quiz, no homework. The only day you are required to do anything outside of class this week is Wednesday, when you are at home. So, and it will be a 24-hour assignment. It'll be open from midnight to 12 o'clock a.m. to 11:59 p.m. So I don't care if you do it in the middle of the night before you go to bed, or if you sleep in until 3 o'clock and do it later.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Like, I personally do not care as long as it's getting done. Do you have to show work to get credit? Yes. You know, say there is no reason why you can't show work. It's going to look almost identical to this. So you guys have great examples to look at. You know, say this is being recorded, so you can always go back and watch me. If you don't remember how you got something from your notes, you can always go back and watch this video. But I need you guys to remember that color by number is due today. So if you have not turned that in, make sure you get that turned in.